Here's something that will shock you about your future. I'm 47 years old, and if you're in your 30s right now, you need to hear this. Because when you hit your 40s, you're going to witness something that will either terrify you or motivate you to take action today. You'll see two distinct groups of people emerge from your generation: those who made the right choices in their 30s and those who didn't. The difference between these two groups isn't just noticeable, it's staggering. Let me start with the brutal truth about what's happening to your body right now. Even as you're watching this video, your muscles are disappearing. After age 30, you lose between 3 to 8% of your muscle mass every single decade. And here's the kicker: this rate doesn't stay constant. It accelerates dramatically after 60. By the time you reach 80, if you do nothing about it, you could lose up to 80% of the muscle you had at 30. But here's what most people don't understand about this muscle loss. It's not just about looking good or being strong. When you lose muscle, you lose your independence. You lose your ability to carry groceries, climb stairs, get out of bed without assistance. Research shows that people with severe muscle loss have up to 4.6 times higher disability rates than those who maintain their muscle mass. Think about that for a moment. Your daily habits right now are determining whether you'll be the oldest person crushing it in the weight room at 80, or the youngest person needing help in a nursing home. Weight training isn't vanity. It's survival insurance for your future self. Every rep you do today is literally an investment in your 60, 70, and 80-year-old self. Now let's talk about fuel, because you truly are what you eat. But more importantly, you are when you eat. The foods you consume aren't just calories, they're information for your cells, programming your energy levels, your mood, and your long-term health. But here's what blew my mind when I discovered it. Your body has an internal clock that determines when you should eat for optimal health. It's called circadian nutrition, and it's revolutionizing how we think about meal timing. Your body expects food at specific times based on millions of years of evolution. When you eat your final meal 3 to 5 hours before bed, you allow your digestive system to complete its work before your body shifts into repair mode during sleep. When you eat your first meal 1 to 2 hours after waking, you're synchronizing your internal clock and regulating your appetite hormones. Do this consistently for just 7 days, and your body will adapt to these eating windows. Your energy will stabilize, your sleep will improve, and your metabolic health will optimize. It's like upgrading your body's operating system. Speaking of sleep, let me tell you about the most powerful performance-enhancing drug on the planet, and it's completely free. Sleep isn't just rest. It's when your brain consolidates memories, your muscles repair and grow, and your immune system strengthens. Research shows that sleep quality accounts for nearly 25% of the variance in academic and cognitive performance. But here's what's fascinating. Most people approach sleep completely wrong. They think they can catch up on weekends or that one good night erases 5 bad ones. The science says otherwise. You need 7 to 9 hours consistently at similar times each night. When you fix your sleep, you're not just improving rest, you're upgrading your entire life. Better decision-making, improved emotional regulation, enhanced creativity, stronger immune function, and yes, better physical performance. Here's something most people won't admit, but you need to hear. Your appearance matters. I know, don't judge a book by its cover. But guess what people do anyway? They judge the cover. And if you want to succeed in life, you need to care about how you present yourself. This starts with taking care of your body through proper nutrition, exercise, and sleep. Then it extends to the details: your haircut, your clothes, your grooming. You don't need to be a fashion model, but you need to show that you respect yourself enough to present your best version to the world. When you start caring about your appearance, something magical happens. people treat you differently. Doors open. Opportunities appear. It's not fair, but it's reality. And you can either accept it and use it to your advantage, or ignore it and limit your potential. Now, let's talk about the technology revolution happening right now. When I was in my 30s, it was the internet transforming everything. Today, it's artificial intelligence. Whatever the next big technological shift is, and trust me, there will be another one, you need to embrace it completely. Why? Because the people who adopt new technology early don't just benefit from it, they become the ones who shape how it's used. Think about it this way. The people who learned to use the internet in the 1990s didn't just benefit from having websites. They became the entrepreneurs, content creators, and innovators who built the digital economy. The same thing is happening with AI right now. You can either be someone who uses these tools to amplify your capabilities, or someone who gets left behind because you are too comfortable with the old ways. Here's something I wish someone had told me in my 30s about mental clarity. One of the best investments you can make in your cognitive function is to desexualize your brain. I'm talking about eliminating pornography, avoiding the endless scroll through objectifying social media content, and not getting caught up in the digital relationships that are designed to drain your mental energy. When you free your brain from these dopamine hijacks, something incredible happens. That mental energy gets redirected toward building yourself, your relationships, your career, your purpose. It's like removing a fog from your mind that you didn't even realize was there. Let me tell you about the most underrated exercise on the planet: walking. Not running, not high-intensity intervals, not CrossFit. Just walking. When you're stressed, walk. When you're angry, walk. When you need creativity, walk. When you need clarity, walk. Research shows that a 30-minute walk increases creative output by 60%. It reduces stress hormones by 35%. It improves brain function, enhances mood, and if you walk in nature, it provides even greater stress relief than urban walking. Walking is accessible, sustainable, and you can do it anywhere without equipment or membership fees. Here's a truth about money that took me too long to learn. Money is a fantastic slave but a terrible master. You want to use money to buy your freedom, not your status. I remember seeing a post where someone said, "Buy a Rolex and go into debt if you have to, because it will attract your mate and bring you business." That's exactly backwards thinking. If you need a watch to attract a partner, you're going to attract someone who values your possessions more than your character. If you need a luxury item to get business, you haven't developed the skills to persuade people based on the value you provide. Focus first on clearing consumer debt, then on investing in assets, and most importantly, investing in yourself. Skills, knowledge, and capabilities are the only investments that can never be taken away from you. Stop asking advice from people who have never been where you want to go. This seems obvious, but you'd be amazed how often people do this. They ask their broke friends for financial advice, their unhappy friends for relationship advice, their unhealthy friends for fitness advice. Find mentors and advisors who have achieved what you want to achieve. Here's the mindset shift that changed everything for me. Stop thinking it's too late. At 27, I thought it was too late to switch from corporate work to fitness coaching. At 33, I thought it was too late to start my own business. The truth is, at 30, you're not late, you're early. You finally have enough wisdom to know what matters, and enough time to build it. The people who achieve extraordinary things in their 40s, 50s, and beyond almost always started making the crucial changes in their 30s. Your 30s are not the end of your youth. They're the beginning of your power. If you're easily offended, you're easily manipulated. This is especially important in today's climate of outrage and division. When you take everything personally, You give other people control over your emotional state. Adopt what I call API. Always assume positive intent. Life is too short to waste mental energy on perceived slights and imagined insults. Your biggest mental superpower is controlling your perception. Reality isn't actually reality. Your perception is your reality. I can take two people with identical backgrounds, put them in the same situation, and they'll have completely different interpretations of what happened. The difference isn't the circumstances, it's the lens through which they view the world. You get to choose that lens. You can choose the perception that empowers you and moves you forward. Most people don't realize they have this choice, so they let their perceptions be shaped by their environment, their past, their fears. But when you consciously choose empowering perceptions, you literally change your reality. Your thoughts create your beliefs drive your actions, and your actions create your reality. If you want to change your life, start with changing how you think. It takes effort, but it's completely within your control. Stop calling failures failures. Call them iterations. Thomas Edison didn't fail 10,000 times creating the light bulb. He successfully found 10,000 ways that didn't work. Your rate of iteration equals your rate of success. If you want to succeed faster, experiment more, iterate more quickly. Never judge people by what they say. Judge them by what they do. Behavior is the most accurate predictor of character, especially when deciding who to allow into your inner circle. Learn from people you disagree with. When someone disagrees with one thing you believe, don't dismiss everything they say. Most people see disagreement as a threat to their entire worldview when it's just a difference of opinion on one topic. Stay objective, stay curious, and you'll learn far more than if you stay in your echo chamber. Here's something profound I learned from Alan Watts about forgiveness. You need to forgive 4 groups of people. First, your parents. Resenting the people who gave you life is like taking poison and expecting them to get hurt. Every generation has different tools and faces different challenges. Accept this and forgive them. Second, the people you once loved who didn't stay. Don't carry that burden forward. Third, people who wronged you. And fourth, yourself. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing up your mental and emotional energy for building the life you want. If you want better results, look at the people you surround yourself with. If they don't match the reality you want to build, you need to find a better group. Become the least experienced person in the room. Stop protecting your ego and get around people who are levels ahead of you. You'll level up through osmosis, by observing how they think, act, and behave. A great life isn't about money, cars, and houses. It's about doing work you love, being healthy, having great relationships, and building a strong family. Don't over-index on external measures of success. Focus on what creates fulfillment. Success comes from focusing on the right constraints. First, identify your bottleneck, the one thing holding you back from your goal. Fix that, and you'll move closer to what you want. Second, create constraints that uphold your values. Want to build a business? Can you still be home for dinner with your family? Want to achieve financial success? Can you maintain your health while doing it? These constraints force you to find sustainable paths to success. Use the 3 levels of learning. Level 1 is consumption, what you're doing right now watching this video. Level 2 is application, turning knowledge into experience. Level 3 is teaching, turning experience into wisdom. When you apply all 3 levels, you learn at a much deeper level. Your emotions are your responsibility. Stop saying, "You made me feel this way." You're the one feeling it. You created that feeling. Learn to manage your emotions instead of blaming them on others. This is one of the most important life skills they don't teach in school. Take ownership of every result in your life. It may not be your fault, but it's always your responsibility. When you blame others, you give away your power. Personal power means avoiding the victim mentality and taking responsibility for what happens in your life. Be goal-driven. Your mind is a goal-seeking machine. Most people give it the wrong goals or no goals at all. I learned this from legendary coach Paul Chek when I was starting out as a trainer. He said people who write down their goals are more likely to achieve them. I was skeptical, but I wrote down 20 goals and forgot about them. 6 months later, I found the list and had achieved more than half of them. Here's my current goal-setting system you can copy. Start with a 3-year vision. Break that down into 1-year goals. Break those into quarterly projects. Break those into monthly tasks. Break those into weekly actions. Schedule those actions in your calendar and complete at least 3 daily. When you work backwards from your vision to daily actions, everything becomes achievable. But here's the paradox. After you set the goal, forget about the destination and focus on the process. Find ways to enjoy the journey. The happiness isn't in achieving the goal, it's in the striving, the growth, the daily progress. As rapper Russ says, "I enjoy the climb. I don't care where the summit is." Achieving goals isn't about gaining things. It's about becoming the person who attracts those results. You cannot achieve a bigger goal as the same person you are today. You need new behaviors, new thinking patterns, new habits. Focus on becoming the person who would naturally achieve your goal. The shortcut is the long path. The long path is the shortcut. Every time you try to get results quickly, lose weight fast, make money fast, build relationships fast, you skip the skills and character development needed to maintain those results. Choose the long path, because it's always the shortest route to lasting success. Make 3 critical decisions wisely: what you do for work, who you partner with, and where you live. These decisions determine where you spend most of your time. So choose carefully. Here's my formula for success that works for anything. Step 1, show up. Show up when you're motivated and when you're not. This alone puts you ahead of 80% of people. Step 2, when you're there, do the work. Remove distractions and focus completely on what you're doing. Step 3, look for ways to improve. Adopt a Kaizen mindset, constant and never-ending improvement. I've used this formula to get in shape, build businesses, and grow my social media presence. It's simple, but not easy. Finally, people overestimate what they can do in 6 weeks, but underestimate what they can do in a year. Think about all the things you quit because they got hard, and imagine where you'd be if you had stuck with them for a full year. My biggest regrets come from not persisting when I should have. I started a YouTube channel 15 years ago, posted sporadically, got frustrated, and quit. If I had just committed to 1 full year, I'd probably be far ahead of where I am today. While everyone else is looking for shortcuts and quick fixes, adopt the mindset of, "I'll do this for as long as it takes." Want to get in shape? As long as it takes. Want to build a business? As long as it takes. This mindset allows you to make mistakes, learn from them, and keep improving without the pressure of unrealistic timelines. Give yourself a full year to attract the level of success you want. It's one of the best ways to avoid regret and build the life you actually want. Remember, don't take my word for any of this. I'm just someone on the internet sharing what I've experienced. Test these ideas in your own life. As Bruce Lee said, absorb what is useful, reject what is useless. Your 30s are not a dress rehearsal. They're the foundation for everything that follows.